It's fantastic to see so many participants for our 7th winter conference, and as you've already started doing, I'd love to invite you to introduce everybody in the chat. Tell us maybe where you're joining us from, and introduce yourselves a little bit so that we can start our 2 days together off on the right foot. We hope that the next 2 days will be a really sociable and valuable experience for you. And I'm going to walk you through what we've got in stock. So first things first, for those of you who are new to ALT Online events, we run this event using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and here are a few pointers on how to use it. And if you haven't discovered it yet, bottom hand right corner, you find the access panel. In the middle of the screen, you should be able to set your status, and I'd love to ask you all, if you can, to upload an image so that other participants can see you over the next few days. So please do upload a profile picture where you can set your status at the bottom of the screen. And I can see many of you already in the chat, which is fantastic. If you are presenting this this time round, you'll also see in many sessions more functionality at the bottom of the screen to share your audio and your video. We're expecting 300 people over the next 2 days, so some of the sessions like this one, you won't have the option to share audio and video, just to make sure we can keep the quality for everybody as high as we can. But if you can add a profile picture, that would be fantastic, and then hopefully we can get to know each other. Not just those we already know, but also those we don't know as yet. If you're hearing a lot of pings, just as I am at the moment, in your headphones or on your speakers, you can adjust your audio setting and your volume for sound. So if you don't want any pings in the notification settings, head to the little wheel icon on the bottom right-hand corner now, click on notification settings and disable audio notifications. Right, I've just done that. So I'll still be able to get visual notifications, but no more pinging. So it depends on your own preference on what else you've got going on and how much time you've got in this very busy week for us all to join in with the live discussions. As you know, behind the scenes, there is a small staff team working with a whole army of volunteers, presenters, session chairs, and our board of trustees to make this conference possible. So I want to give a big shout out to Jane, who runs our finance and also has been helping with all the scholarship places, to Martin Hawksey, who is responsible for the online delivery of the events overall, Fiona Jones, our administration officer, who you'll see in many of the webinar sessions, and who also has been dealing a lot with website communications and blog posts. Debbie Buff, our membership and professional development manager, who is going to tomorrow lead us in the CMOD ceremony, and you'll also see Debbie throughout the conference in many webinar sessions, supporting our session chairs. And then certainly, last but not least, is Emma Jane Brazier, our very own events manager and leading overall on the winter conference. So Emma Jane has been working her socks off to make this event possible for all of us. Now, we're here to help and hopefully make this experience as smooth and as enjoyable for you as possible. There are video, how-to guide, plenty of help pages, and a virtual help desk. So please do head to the website and have a look. If there's anything else we can do, you can get in touch with us at any time. Just because we're not here face-to-face doesn't mean we're not here to help you. One thing I did want to point out to you is that we've put together a new netiquette, particularly giving guidance to participants on how to share about this event on social media. And we've included some guidance in there on how to take screenshots without sharing personal information from people who haven't given you permission to do so. So please do have a look at the netiquette and have a look at how best to share events on social media. Now, as well as the online winter conference, there's so much going on this week that I wanted to give you just a couple of pointers. One, and very importantly, is the ALT Annual Survey 2020, where this year, as well as our usual questions around learning technology, trends and practice, we're capturing sector responses to the COVID pandemic. We've had many responses already, but if you haven't completed the survey yet, then I'd like to invite you to do so during this conference week. We'd love to hear your voices and hopefully make sure that we take even more action next year to support our community. Later today, we're going to hear a live discussion on the Open COVID Pledge for Education that the association has been supporting all year round. And if you haven't already discovered it, or if you aren't able to join this plenary session later today, then I'd like to encourage you to please have a look on the website and go and find out what the Open COVID Pledge is all about. Now, last but certainly not least, tomorrow at 4:30 p.m, we have a very special Learning Technologist of the Year award ceremony, and our president, David White, will be announcing the winners from this year's competition. But we know 2020 has been a year like no other, and certainly a year like no other for learning technologists, as you all are. So I'd like to just highlight that we're hoping to give a community award tomorrow, and the ceremony is open to all and free to attend. If you are a registered participant, then it's automatically included in your ticket, and we hope that you come along and join us in a moment of reflection, but also celebration. Now, this conference wouldn't be possible and certainly wouldn't be able to do quite as much without the help of our strategic sponsors, and I wanted to acknowledge first of all, Blackboard, who also provide us with the platform for running our event. Uniwise, particularly WiseFlow from Uniwise, another one of our strategic sponsors. And also Vivox, who've been sponsoring and supporting our events throughout this year, and with whom we've worked very successfully for many years. So all three of our strategic sponsors are members of ALT and have been supporting the community, not just for Christmas, so to speak, but all year round. And this afternoon, and our afternoon plenary, there will be an opportunity to get to know more of the initiatives from the strategic sponsors, and that's something I'm really very much looking forward to. So I hope that you'll find not only their support, but also the other initiatives that they're going to be speaking about of interest to you. Now, we'd like to invite you all now to join into an activity that you can join in via this live session, but also on social media for those who aren't able to join us, which is to give us 3 words to describe the year ahead and looking forward. In the summer, we did the same thing with the year that's just passed, but now we're really looking to get your impressions of what maybe your hopes are for the year ahead. And I hope that one of my colleagues will be able to put the link directly into the chat as well, and we'll just wait a few moments and give you all an opportunity to join in to that. The session ID, if you head to vivox.app, is 166 293 833. So I'm just going to wait a couple of moments to give you all an opportunity to share your hopes for the year ahead. And the poll will continue to be available throughout the session, so hopefully you'll be able to continue to contribute to that. Now, we're thrilled to welcome around 300 participants from 12 countries for the conference and the award ceremony tomorrow, which is a large number of people to make extra time for sharing, networking, and working together in such an unusual time and such a busy week just ahead of Christmas. So to all of you, wherever you're joining us from and however you are able to participate, a very warm welcome from everyone here at the Winter Conference. We have about 60% of participants from the UK, and then many participants, 15% of our participants from Ireland, 6% of our participants come from Australia. So a warm, very welcome and good night to you down under. 4% of our participants are from Hong Kong, and we also have participants from Denmark, Sweden, the United States, and Saudi Arabia. And I think I just said hello in the chat earlier to some of our participants from Saudi Arabia and Hong Kong. So a very warm welcome to you all. Now, I'd like to ask you to join me in looking at what's on ahead today at day one. First of all, in about 45 minutes, we invite you to join us for the opening plenary, which this year is going to be focused on work ALT's been leading on establishing a new ethical framework for learning technology. If you recall, that was one of the biggest priorities that members identified when we looked at 2020 about a year ago. And there were just one or two things in the meantime that have been keeping us all busy. But now we're looking back at this very important work to look at the ethical framework and its development. And unfortunately, our chair, Helen O'Sullivan, won't be able to join us for the session today due to personal reasons. So I'm delighted to facilitate a conversation between Bella Abrams, Sharon Flynn, Nishi Rodrigo, Natalie Lafferty, and John Traxler. And I hope that you'll all enjoy this conversation and be able to contribute. There is a lot of opportunity to get involved in the new ethical framework for learning technology, and the session page includes links to sign up, to get involved, and to keep informed. Now, if you head to the online program and there's a handy how-to guide on how to build your own schedule, you'll be able to see that there are many parallel sessions all through the day today. We've built in some comfort breaks between each session, which will hopefully make getting from one virtual room to the next a little bit less stressful. But very much looking forward to a whole plethora of wildcard sessions and workshops, many webinars. I have to say, I'm really thrilled, and there's many gems that we'll be able to look forward to today, and many, many different voices and speakers that have all contributed. If you are one of our speakers and you're helping us bring this program together today, I just wanted to say a special welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making the effort to make a submission and prepare a presentation or prepare a workshop or an activity. We're really looking forward to your session. And at that point, I also want to give a special thanks to those members who volunteered this year to become session chairs at the Winter Conference. And every single webinar, there'll be a volunteer chair keeping us to time and helping to facilitate the conversation alongside members of staff. So to all of you who've been contributing to making this conference come together, thank you very much. And I hope that we'll have a really good 2 days together. Now, this afternoon's plenary session, where we all come together again, is focused on the Open COVID Pledge for Education and chaired by one of ALT's trustees, Elizabeth Charles. We're looking forward to having a stellar lineup of speakers for this session, including Catherine Cronin, Helen Beetham, Lorna Campbell, and Mamadou Salah. And we're hoping to have a very critical and open discussion on this very important area that so many of our members have contributed this year. Now, throughout the whole conference, our virtual cafe will be open, and during break times, particularly during lunchtime, at least one member of staff will be in the cafe to welcome you and help answer any questions that you might have. We hope that you'll be able to use the cafe to also meet up with other participants and use it as an open meeting space to come and join and find out what other participants have been up to. And at lunchtime, both of our conference days, we have a special brown bag lunch and networking where many of our members groups and special interest groups come together to share the work that they've done. This is from 1 to 1:45 p.m. GMT time, and is open to everyone, not just to conference participants. It's a really great opportunity, particularly if you're new to our community or new to the conference, to find out what these groups are doing and how to get involved. Everybody is welcome, and I hope that for those of you who are maybe missing particularly meeting up with participants or meeting up at face-to-face events, this is an opportunity to really have that sort of informal lunchtime conversation where you can bring your sandwiches or tea, anything else to refresh yourself, and get in a very informal context together with other members and find out what they're up to. So my colleague Debbie Buff has been working tirelessly with member groups and special interest groups to pull this program together. I know there were a couple of pre-conference meetups already, but I'm thrilled that there are so many different groups represented here. I've been so impressed with what dedication and engagement our volunteer member and special interest groups have continued their work throughout this year, when it's been so important to collaborate. So we hope that this is an opportunity for you to get to know what other groups are doing, but also meet up with those groups that you're already involved in. Now, as you know, ALT's been involved in a new initiative called The Future of Learning, and I hope to be able to share with you a short video that our chair Helen has recorded recently to share more about the program. And this is one of those moments towards the end of my welcome session where I have a more technical challenge now, trying to make that work for you. So if you all bear with me while I just switch over to the video, and then hopefully I should be able to play it for you. Martin, I'm clicking the share audio tick, so hopefully that should work. And here we are. Right, excellent. And let's see if I can play it. Great, I can see it playing, but
how does technology go beyond Zoom calls to benefit students? It's so much more than just Zoom calls. Technology enables people who develop education to really get creative with ways of collaborating, bringing students together to work on problem solving, on real life world activities with employers, and really to develop their creative and digital skills. A learning technologist is not somebody who just helps you set up a Zoom call. It's somebody who has a deep professional understanding of the links between the pedagogy and the technology. So the pedagogy comes first, what are you trying to achieve, and then here's a technological solution to help you do that. So there have been issues with online exams, and universities are rightly worried about whether the student doing the exam is the right person, how to stop them cheating, and there have been a number of solutions to this. For example, online monitoring, which is where you employ people to watch students while they're actually doing their exams, and this has been quite controversial, and many universities have chosen not to do that. And for me, one of the ways to avoid all those issues is to design assessments that really are less able to be cheated, that require students to apply knowledge that they've already got, that require them to do a task, a collaborative task, or what have you. And there are lots of ways of students proving their identity that don't need such intrusive ways of doing so. So there are concerns that with the move to online learning, that education technology has become surveillance technology, and it's really not about surveillance. We have to build trust with all sorts of employers, with academics, with students, that they are doing the work that's required of them. And for me, in universities, students are adults, and if the work is engaging and useful to them and they see the benefit, they will do it. We don't need to be watching them 24/7. So looking forward, the issues for ALT are very much the ethical use of data, and ALT are developing a framework at the moment for the ethical use of data and how we work with students to make sure that we all understand each other's role in that. and also how we enable learning technologies to develop as a profession. And as the profession is growing, more and more learning technologists are getting into leadership positions, so that next stage of their development. I'm really looking forward to the programme with ITM Productions, and what I would really love to see come out of it is people have a much better understanding of what learning technologists do and the role that learning technology plays in education. It's not just the Zoom call, it's much more exciting than that. And maybe it will inspire some people to take some online programs.
Great, well, thank you very much, everybody, for enabling us to share that today. I'm sure Helen would have enjoyed sharing more details with you herself and her own impressions, but I'm looking forward to sharing more information as we're going ahead, and also what opportunities there are for us all to become involved and have a voice as part of this, both commercial organizations who are involved in the organization, but also members who will be able to contribute in the ALT parts of the program. So it's a very exciting venture and an opportunity for us to hopefully contribute to the discourse around learning technology for a much broader audience. So some of these issues will come up in today's plenaries and also throughout the program. But back to what else is happening today, which is at 6:30, we're looking forward to the ALT quiz, which was so successful at the Summer Summit, and we're so excited to be playing along again. I think it was possibly, well, I can't quite recall. I think Julie was maybe just pipped to the post for winning that, by not winning that in the summer. So we're looking forward to finding out who will win today. There's 3 rounds of themed questions to test your ALT knowledge and get in the Christmas spirit. And the first prize is a big hamper plus a £25 Amazon voucher, and also VBox branded chili bottles for the highest voted joke. I'm definitely not entering that particular competition, but I hope many of you will be able to join us for the social side of the program. At this point, I wanted to give a big shout out to those members who've already participated last night and during this week in the social program, because last night there was a fantastic radio show hosted by the Thursday Night Show, enabling ALT members to play their favorite tunes in the run-up to the conference. So thank you again to everybody who took part in our radio show. And with that, I just want to say thank you again for joining us in the welcome. It's fantastic to see over 100 people live online for the welcome. In half an hour, we'll be welcoming you back here in this room for the opening plenary to discuss our ethical framework in learning technology. That starts at 10 a.m., so in about half an hour. But for now, I hope there is time for you all to grab a cup of tea and get comfortable for a very exciting 2 days. From everybody here involved, from all of our volunteers, a warm welcome to ALT's Winter Conference, and now in its 7th year. Thank you.